one of the last experiments that we're going to do is you'll notice that in sort of week 5 we give you the more advanced complicated experiments, and the preparation of an alpha beta unsaturated ketone is one of the final reactions that we would cover in lecture. So we get to enolate chemistry traditionally at the end of a second semester lecture. So there's a combination of two reactions going on here. There's the Michael reaction, which is the addition of certain kinds of nucleophiles to an alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl system, and then an aldol reaction to form a ring. So this is an annulation reaction. Also, an annulation reaction forms a ring, and one of the most famous annulation reactions is Robinson annulation, and it also does a Michael reaction and an aldol reaction to create a six-membered ring. These are interesting because if you make the right kinds of systems, you can have the basis for steroids. So if you go back, if you're interested, you can look at the Robinson annulation, and the Robinson annulation creates a 6-6 system, two six-membered rings fused together. And if you look at steroid molecules, has a 6-6-6-5 relationship with 4 different rings. So this is sort of the beginning of creating a steroid-like system. So a lot of this happens all in the same pot. So the way that you do this reaction is to begin with the Michael reaction, and without isolating really the middle material and purifying it, you go right into the next step. So not every multi-step synthesis requires you to separate and purify intermediate materials. Sometimes you can just take the reaction mixture from the first, do a little bit of work up to it, and go immediately into the next reaction. So this is a very, very interesting mechanism to follow because it's multiple mechanisms. You have the Michael addition mechanism, and then you have the aldol reaction mechanism, eventually getting to the final product. Experimentally, this can be pretty tricky because the product that we make tends to clog filters. So you're doing a vacuum filtration because it's a very highly conjugated system, and its solid crystalline form for some reason likes to clog the filter papers that we use. So you should be lucky that you don't have to do it that way. Remember that some of these reactions are catalytic. You don't need a full mole equivalent of some of the bases that we're using because, one, we're under equilibrium conditions, and two, you can get that basic material back out if you look at the mechanism. So pay attention to the phrasing of some of the steps in the experiment in relationship to the mechanism of the reactions that are going on. So the last real reaction that we're going to be doing is the preparation of an alpha beta unsaturated ketone.